Hello, and welcome to another video. I'm ZpprSprk, and I am recording another little explanation video, I guess. It is somewhat of a revisit to my mob elevator video. I got quite a bit of feedback on that one so far, and I thought I'd revisit it mostly because there's a certain comment that asked me to do a more heavy load mob mover designed around using multiple minecarts to move them to the kill chamber. And so I asked for clarification because minecarts don't seem to want to work very well. And so I understand it's a challenge, but I just wanted to know exactly what the main purpose was. So he got back to me and explained that there is a couple spawners that he found that he wants to see if he can work together to get them all and kind of use the minecarts to get them all into a nice, concise little place. So what I have here in front of me is a couple temps. I've got three setups I wanted to show you. The first one here is using there's just a couple zombie spawners here, and using the minecart or using the water to flush them over into the corner. And the next one up, I'll show you a way that similar way that can use minecarts to move them. But as you'll see, it's not very reliable. So as this is going, you can kind of see what some of the problems here are. The minecarts, the easiest way to pick them up is to have them on sort of a bottom slab or trapdoor or something here, and have the minecart come up kind of through the block they're standing in. So that's a nice easy way to do that. And just so that I wouldn't have the minecarts going constantly, I just set up a tripwire that triggers a kind of a clock to pulse every now and then. But here's one of the issues with this setup, is the babies don't get detected by the filter to filter out the empty minecarts. So they end up going with the empty minecarts and being recycled. And then, yeah, you can see they bounce back and forth too. Empty minecarts come up here. And so maybe if I kill some of these, it would work a little better. Yeah, I gave myself strength so I can one-shot them. So here the minecarts come up and they just get popped off with the I've got an ejector rail or an activator rail there that ejects them. Although we could probably get away with just breaking the minecart here and it'd have the same effect. So this brings them up here nicely, but as we saw, the baby zombies tend to get stuck down here. I don't see any down here at the moment. And the minecarts aren't always as reliable as we want up here. But if we're going to be sitting here, working on the, kind of, this is our spot we stand to kill them, probably not the biggest deal. So we can kind of ignore the zombies for a minute. Let's go over here so we can kind of show you how this is, what exactly this is going. So got the drop hole where they come down, they come into the water and it just pushes them over, and then I have that flowing onto a waterlogged stairs. So the waterlogged stairs, you see, is right here above. So this is where they're standing, is on this slab here. Then it comes up and goes up there. Then yeah, I showed you this, the timer here. It's just some redstone kind of looping around on itself. So when this redstone goes off, the torch will come on, the repeater will turn it on, and so it pulses if there is no well, there we saw it. So if the redstone block is here, it's gonna, you know, kind of stop it. But as long as this is going, it's just gonna pulse like this and send the minecarts. And then the minecarts, as they come out, they've got a tripwire here to detect if there's a, you know, a mob sitting in the minecart, and if that goes, it will switch the track here to send them off that way. Well, if it's empty, or a baby zombie, it will come back around here, be broken by this over here, and then this will collect the minecarts to recycle them that way. So that's how that set is set up. It's not terribly difficult, but then this is yeah, if they back up there, they end up running back down here, and I want to send them over here. So this just kind of forces them to stay on that side, the way that's set up. And then this is a nice way to merge two together. You just have one coming up here between, like, the block between the slabs. Send them up, and then this is just a simple cart coming up here, or track, rail, whatever, and over here. And it looks like using a powered rail there instead of the activator rail does seem to be more reliable here. Before I was getting mobs ejected onto the hopper here, but I haven't seen that since changed that, so maybe that will work better. But other than the baby zombies and the empty minecarts, seems to be working fairly well. I don't know how much more explanation I need to give on this. I'll kind of go slowly if you need to, you know, pause the video and see how this is. But yeah. All right. So the next one up is, okay, so we don't want the water here. How would we get them using minecarts from, like, the chamber of a mob spawner into like a one drop hole thing? So that's what this is, and this is a design that Snow Crash showed back in 1.8, that if you use kind of this V shape with the minecarts going back and forth, then over here we have the activator rails, that it will eject the mobs up here. Now this little bit I did change a bit from Snow Crash's design, since we can do the water, so it'll still eject them up here and over here. And this design was actually from a mob or a blaze spawner, but here's the issue with this. If sometimes they can drop down in a spot where the carts aren't going to pick them up, and then they don't get picked up. And, like, well, maybe with the blazes it actually works better, because the blazes are kind of float down, and so the minecart can kind of slip under them before they'll land and block it. So if we do that with the blazes, we'll see, assuming it'll spawn here. Waiting. There we go. So it does seem to work a bit better, but it still has that same issue. Now, The blazes don't seem to want to be ejected on top of these slabs up here. They stay kind of on top of the rails. So that's a little bit awkward. But if I switch this back to skeletons. So having the water push them over to the edge against these, I could probably move this and get them over a bit closer, actually. Yeah, that seems better. And giving them some minecarts, they'll kind of get picked up in the minecarts, although they kind of block the way. There. Ah, that's not what I meant. Alright, well, there's a mess down there now. Oh, and my lava turned obsidian. Well, yeah. Maybe we can stop that from happening. Okay. It did work a bit better when I had the glass here, so... Alright. Come on. Well, you can kind of see the issues. The zombies don't, or the skeletons don't like to be picked up. And when they do, yeah, doing it this way does seem to work a bit better. Having the glass there. So, alright. Don't break that glass. But I don't think that the issues here makes this whole setup worthwhile anyways. So 1.8 they worked really well, but since the minecart changes since then, it doesn't want to work. So in a sense, coming back to just a regular water, it seems like it wants to be the best option. So just having the water flush over and then, kind of down, to me, seems like the best option. And this actually is a setup that I saw after my video went out. And so it has all the things that you'd want. It does the small creatures, it does the big creatures, it does the ones that sink, the ones that float. So to help demonstrate that, oh my zombie skeleton. So if we have over here a bunch of skeletons, bunch of zombies, make sure we get some babies in there too, some creepers, witches, it seems to be going pretty well. Now, that yeah, the original design that I copied from, and I'll have a link to it and everything so that I'll have a link to it so that you can, you know, see. Oh. The video I saw it in. But so what it is if you get the water stream to go diagonal, and then through 2 fences up diagonally into the soul sand elevator, it seems to work really well. The only trick there is then you need to make sure that you have an empty space on both of the other sides of the soul sand, so that the water has somewhere to flow away diagonally. So you want the source block that is right above the soul sand to be flowing diagonally out that way as well. So that's the main trick there. But it had no issues at all working with all those mobs. And if you have multiple spawners next to each other and you want them in separate kill chambers, then you just, you know, you don't have to share the same water elevator. You can have them next to each other, and you know, the kill chambers, you know, have one here and one here, for example, and so on. The one thing that I didn't test with this yet is the cave spiders. I know the cave spiders can come from spawners 2, and they're a bit smaller, so it can cause issues. Yeah, it looks like it could cause issues there. But if we... Oh. Get rid of these. We'll put that there. Alright, let's get the spawner to be cave spider so that we can sit down there and wait. Get rid of these. Yeah, you can get it to work as well. You don't want it too high there. If you do, you'd probably need to do what I had at first, is kind of break these ones out so that the next block up has a way to push them out. But as you saw with the too high mobs, that can cause problems letting them push in. And even this, as low as it is, might have problems with the 1 high mobs. You might get some of the cave spiders stuck in here. But that is my video for today. Hopefully I didn't go ramble on too much, and that there's nothing too you know, difficult to understand. If you do need me to explain something more detailed, go ahead and put a comment in the comments below, and I will try to explain more or put another follow-up video or something. And anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.